Hello, family. Dee Woolridge here with another excerpt from my book called The Resilient You. And today I'm going to talk about one of the reasons or one of the things that people engage in, one of the behaviors that keep stress alive. Now, remember, if you don't remember, The Resilient You is a book that I wrote for my clients and then for everyone that's dealing with stress and overwhelm, anxiety, panic attacks. And it's a way for you to realize what's going on with you and then what to do about it so you don't even get to that point where you are so out of balance that panic and overwhelm and stress and anxiety is part of your life. You want to live a more calm, peaceful, harmonious life. And this book gives you some techniques on how to recognize what you're going through and what to do about it. So, one of the things I'm going to talk about today is behaviors that keep stress alive. And one of those things is something that I called muling. And muling is a term when people are carrying a heavy load, mindlessly walking along through life with their packs filled with stuff or people. And how I came up with this term is my husband and I like to travel, and we like to do many times adventure activity type of travel. So that's some of the fun stuff. We decided to go to Mexico, and there was a chance to go ziplining. So I thought, okay, ziplining, just one little zoom across, that's good. Well, what we went to was 11 zip lines, and they were up the mountain in a zigzag and then back down the mountain in a zigzag. So we went up the mountain one, and then we had to hike. Then we go up the mountain some more, and then we have to hike, and up the mountain some more, and then we have to hike. So we knew that after we had zip lined, we were going to have to, when we got to the other side, we had to hike, and the mountain was getting steeper and more difficult to traverse. So we got to a point where when we got off the zip line, we looked down and I go, how we're ever going to get up there? And guess what? There were mules there waiting to take us up the mountain. And when we got there, the mules just walked over to us, basically just let us put our packs on their backs. We got on and they start walking immediately up the mountain, super steep, difficult. I don't know how I would have been able to get up that mountain, but I know someone has. But they took the responsibility from us and we let them take us up this mountain for something we wanted to do. Now, we didn't ask the mules if they were tired or hungry or thirsty or too old or they weren't feeling good. We just got on their back and said, hey, take us up. We didn't say anything. They're just so used to do it. This is being conditioned to take on someone else's responsibility, carry someone else's weight and burden. And I thought about that on my way up the mountain and I go, wow, I don't even know where they're going. I'm just going to trust that they know where they're going. It's just that they're so used to doing it. They just did it. And I thought, how many of us in our lives are in this position, either as the mule or we get mules. We come to a mule when we feel like we don't want to do something. We give our responsibility to someone else. And they're so used to taking on other people's responsibilities, whether they want them or not. They just said, okay, put it on my back with my other stuff, because I just finished helping these other people do that. And they just take it on and just go. Now, the problem with that is two things. The people who are giving over their responsibility to the mule or to someone who is as a mule is that they never learn. So my husband and I, that took us out of the game of trying to get up the mountain ourselves. It was, we're going to let the mules do it for us. So what did we learn from that? Nothing. To let somebody else take on our burdens and our responsibilities. Or if you are the mule, taking on other people's things, not saying no, just doing it mindlessly, walking through life, carrying other people's stuff that's not even yours without regard to how you feel about it and what you want. And then what happens? You give out, you break, you stop, you get sick, you die. And guess what? Those people that have given you their responsibility and their burden and their weight, they keep going and they will find someone else to carry their responsibilities for them. So in the book, there's 3 questions that I ask. Think of all the tasks and responsibilities you have in your life. Then ask yourself, how many are necessary? Because when you get to this point of taking on other people's things, you start to feel this overwhelm and many of it is not yours. So the question is, how many of the things that you have in your life are actually yours and are they necessary? Are they even yours to carry? And are you carrying someone who could stand on their own? Number 2 is, when someone asks you to do something, do you automatically say yes and take it on, just like the mules did? Just took it on. And number 3, are you the person who a friend calls to vent and then says, "Thanks for listening. I feel better now." They feel good, yet you feel somehow slimed or dumped on. Are you that person? Are you the mule? And mulers are good people who engage in this activity. They're your designated drivers, your babysitters, your money lenders, your extra task takers, the storage houses, fixers, problem solvers. No one asks them how they feel. They just assume that they don't mind. But what I found is that they do mind, and secretly they seethe with resentment. So if that is you, I urge you to pick up the book, The Resilient You, and learn how to say no. Learn how just to say, I don't do that anymore. Simple as that. I'm sure you can find someone else to help you, but I can't. So let me know how that works out for you. And I have to tell you that I was not quite that pat with the muling, but I was one of the people that didn't like to say no because I wanted people to believe in me that I could do something. And like me, there are other people out there that are ready to take on, like, let me do it for different reasons. Some people are people pleasers, or some people want to prove that they can do it. For whatever reason you are doing it, doesn't matter. If you're taking on too much, you're going to be in a state of overwhelm and you will break. So learn how to say no, because when you're broken, other people go, "Really?" And then they're going on. They don't even realize that you need something too. So what you need to do now is be able to say no and bring back harmony and balance into your life. And if you don't know how to do that, just pick up the book, The Resilient You. You can find it at Amazon.com. And you can just type in The Resilient You or my name, D. Woolridge. That's what I have for you today. Stay tuned for my next video on The Resilient You. Take care for now. Bye.